Hello and welcome to the Retro Replay. This is my associate, Snappy the Balls Joe, and today we're going to bring you the first dual review, Sonic All-Stars Racing Transformed.
Really, bro?
Just go with it.
Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing Transformed is a sequel to Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing and the fourth game in the Sonic Superstar series, a spin-off series focusing on multiplayer games, the first being similar to Mario Party and the second being a tennis game. I'm surprised that the series hasn't exploded into many spin-offs like the Mario ones.
Released in 2012 for everything under the sun except your Nintendo Entertainment System, Racing Transformed is part of the kart racing genre, as opposed to games like Gran Turismo and Forza.
But Need for Speed Carbon is still one of the best racing games ever made.
Yeah, but that's a story for another day, so put your fanboy penis back into your pants and let's get on with the show.
Okay.
Racing Transformed reminds me a lot of Diddy Kong Racing, which was a game that I played quite a bit whenever I went to Costco as a kid, because they had a setup there for a very long time, with the mechanics of different vehicles like cars, boats, and planes. But the vehicles didn't transform over the course of the race.
The one that we're playing right now is the Wii U version. I actually had this 2 days after Christmas of that year, which was the same day I bought my Wii U. So aside from Nintendo Land, it was the first game I owned for the system.
This was the first game you got? You know that's heresy amongst Nintendo fans. You're supposed to get a Mario game.
Yeah, but it'd certainly help if they had more than an HD clone from 2010. I mean,
you got a point.
I do. I mean, like, for serious. All you're going to do for Mario is release New Super Mario Bros. U, the only game that's Mario on the system. Get serious, man.
Speaking of graphics, I found them to be bright and colorful. Sumo Digital did a great job making the characters look true to their official Sega counterparts, although Sega could have just given them the models they already made. The vehicles all match the characters, like Sonic having a sleek Corvette-looking car or Metal Sonic having something very futuristic.
Or even BD Joe having a taxi cab from Crazy Taxi, or a Formula One car for Danica Patrick. Yes, you heard me correctly, folks. Danica Patrick. She has a Formula One car.
Who's Danica Patrick?
Danica Patrick? She was a decent Formula One racer who turned into a really shitty NASCAR driver just because she thought she could do it.
Okay, here's a better question. Why is she in this game?
Beats the hell out of me.
Okay, I'll take that.
Like most kart racing games, there's a ton of weapons available to collect as you travel along the tracks. You can get boosts, snowballs, and rockets to pass by and slow down your opponents. The weapons are actually pretty balanced for the most part, but can get pretty chaotic in some instances.
Especially the Swarm, which is essentially the equivalent of the blue shell from the Mario Kart series. However, instead of summoning a giant blue shell to wreck your ship, it summons a swarm of hornets in front of the lead car, and with enough skill and a little bit of luck, you can dodge and not be affected by the swarm at any point whatsoever.
So there's really nothing for you to worry about when it comes to your opponent using items against you.
But that doesn't necessarily mean there isn't a bullshit factor.
There are some BS factors, such as the rival races. The first one we encountered with Beat from Jet Set Radio would just pull ahead at the last second, while taking a wider turn when I was hugging the corner to put more distance between me and him.
This happened multiple times until we managed to pull ahead of him, and that was because we barraged him with items. The most handy items are the glove and the super glove, allowing you to catch items and add them to your inventory for later use. The regular glove is a one-time deal, whereas the super glove lasts for a limited time, give or take 20 to 30 seconds.
Then there's the All-Star Power-Up, which activates your plane mode and pretty much makes you a god.
And the power and function of the All-Star mode varies from character to character.
Each character controls pretty well, and the more you use a character, the more they level, which unlocks car mods, giving you some level of customization. But the only part relating to control that I found silly was drifting. Using the left trigger, you can drift, but to change direction mid-drift, you need to quickly let go and repress the trigger. I think that it would have been easier to just hold it and tilt the analog stick in that desired direction without need to re-tap the trigger.
Whereas I feel it's a really good control schematic, because you only have to worry about the width of your turn, and if you need to change directions, all you have to do is pump the trigger, without worrying about juggling the control stick to control the turn.
There's 40 tracks and 25 characters who each get 7 mods, so there's quite a bit of content here for a kart racer.
Yeah, but it could be worse. It could be big rigs. Leaves a bad taste in your mouth, doesn't it, Retro?
I've never really been into kart racers. I prefer more realistic racing games like Need for Speed. But I find kart racers to be fun, and while I wouldn't play them on my own, I would play them with a group of friends. Sonic All-Stars Racing Transformed also gives a really good sensation to speed with great control for a fun experience.
Yeah, what he said.
When it comes down to it, I think that this is a good game for what it's worth.
And for the price that I paid for the game, I definitely think it's worth its weight in gold. And it's one of the best kart racers on the market today.